Hi, yogis. This is Danielle. Happy to be here with you to practice. We need this ability to feed the thoughts or feed the productive actions that make us feel grounded and at peace in some way. And then there are times when we feed those thoughts that are really unproductive. Now that doesn't mean that we don't touch thoughts that are uncomfortable, but being able to direct our focus gives us a lot more empowerment around how much time we spend with each thought and what is productive and how we can engage in a really grounded way for our engagement with our life, really. So I thought I'd offer that as a beginning thought for our practice, and then we put it into practice with our asana, with our poses. So roll out your mat, stick the dog or cat in the next room so you have some time to be with me, be with yourself, and we'll get this thing started. Thanks again for choosing to practice. So today I'm going to invite us to get started on your back. So meeting me, laying down. Maybe you start with your arms out wide, palms face up. You can feel your legs long and just noticing how that feels. Sorry, I'm going to keep fixing my mic. You don't have to watch me on the video. You just lay on your back. And then if it feels better, maybe play with where your hands are placed. So you might slide one hand on your heart and one on your belly. Again, starting to direct your focus there to where your hands are connected to your body. And then starting to feel your breath. Starting your attention, your focus may dance around a little bit. You might notice different sensations in the lower body, your feet. Might notice sounds in the room, wherever you are. And then bringing your mind back to where your hands are placed on your body and feeling your breath. Breathing in and out, filling you up and emptying out. Continuing to focus or just play with where your focus lies, or where it shifts and how you can redirect it. Bring your knees into your chest and invite you to feel your body move into that shape and pick a path where that feels good. You know, there might be some little cracks or creaks, some tightness. If you're working with old injuries, you know, we each got something similar and slightly different going on. So the invitation is to pay attention to your body and then notice how hugging your knees in feels good. You might extend and bring your knees back into your chest. Extend the legs and then bring your knees back into your chest and rocking side to side or in circles. Getting familiar with this hip area right now. And then letting Both hips scoot a little bit to the right, letting both knees fall to the left. And you could feel where this twist is happening in your back, maybe your low back or your mid back. And the invitation is to send your breath there, creating some space. You're puffing out the belly and the low back on the inhales, and some softening on the exhales. Good. If it would feel yummy for you, you might extend that top leg out towards the left. Just change the sensation. And you can notice, right? Notice little shifts in where your leg goes and how that affects where the stretch is, the depth of the stretch. And see if you can breathe wherever you are, wherever you're feeling it. And then as you're ready, finding your pathway back to center, bringing the knees back into your chest. A little rock side to side, or again, that like reset of extending the legs up and bringing them back in. And then finding the twist on the other side. So your knees will scoot towards the left and the knees will move towards the right. You can tee out your arms or just that left arm up on the diagonal or out to the side. And then breathing into your mid or your low back and your outer hip. Softening through your eyebrows. Maybe play with extending that leg out in a way that feels useful. Play with sensation in the outer hip and the low back. And then bringing your knees back into your chest. A rock side to side. And then a rock forward and back. So awakening the whole length of your spine. As you rock back, maybe inhale. And as you rock forward, maybe there's an exhale where you can pause, look at that top. So we're even saying hello to the abdominals here. Right, and starting to wake all the parts of the spine up by feeling them against the ground. That's another way to create focus, is us against a different surface, right? Or this is like calling a friend, right? We have another person, thing that we're engaging with that we create some awareness or focus around. Good. Once you come up to your last little rock forward and back, go ahead and find a seat for a moment. Cross your legs. Woo, letting your knees splay out. Sitting nice and tall, feeling your sit bones root down. The crown of your head lifts up, but almost sometimes I like to feel like there's little strings on the back of my ears. So there's not so much of a jutting of the chin out or up, but more of a humble or neutral placement of the chin. Okay, and just a few breaths here. You might close your eyes to narrow your focus, so taking in less information from outside and going a little bit more inward. Or sometimes it's useful to set your eyes to one point in front of you, maybe I don't even know, I wanted to say 6 inches, but maybe 2 to 3 feet out in front of you on the ground. So almost like playing with letting your periphery and the other shapes around you get a little fuzzy. Working with this drishti or focus of the eyes. Which hopefully allows you to feel back into your breath and to notice sensations in your body. Good. Hopefully this allows the hips to open up a little bit just by sitting here. And a little engagement in your core as you're holding yourself up, spine long. Right, and then you might be looking at that point or your eyes might be closed. Yep, I would love to invite you to just swing your legs around behind you and find your way onto your hands and your knees. And then back to child's pose for a few breaths. So the knees go wide, forehead slides down to the earth. So that point you might bring your attention to is your forehead connected to the ground. And are sinking your hips back to your heels. And then washing the spine or the whole torso with the breath. Hands walk a little bit to the right. Feeling your fingers spread, pressing your palms on the ground, and then you might feel your shoulders plug back in to the sockets. And then breathing. Walking the hands through center and then heading over to the other side, feeling the fingertips reach out to the left. And then letting the right hip slide a little bit back and down and over. And putting your attention in your body and body sensations. And the more we're paying attention, the more we can have agency in our choices. Right? Bringing your hands back to center, stretching out. Right? The more that we can feel what's happening in the body, the more we can maybe mitigate an injury or spend an extra couple breaths somewhere if it feels useful. Go deeper in a pose or back off. So breathe here, set that foundation here. As you're ready, slide up to hands and knees. And tuck your toes. Feel the bottoms of your feet stretch, and then scoop your hips up towards the ceiling. Again, maybe play with plugging the shoulders in, just like we did when we were in child's pose, reaching one way and then the other. You can feel your inner thighs kind of spin back towards the back of the room. A little bend in the knees will give your hamstrings a little buoyancy or a little slack, so you're not pulling super tight on them. And being able to scoop the tailbone up and create length in the spine. Yeah, we're going to do like a cat-cow, but from using high push-up. So you tuck your chin, scoop your low belly in, scoop yourself forward. So the upper back moves towards the front of the room until your chin lengthens out towards the top of the mat. And from here, tuck your tail or send your tail up and back, bend your knees, and scoop the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Breathe where you are. Let's try that again. Scoop low belly in, tuck the chin. You might have to scoop the feet back a little bit. until you come into a high push-up, lengthening out. And then bend your knees. Let your chin continue to stay looking forward. And then the head's the last thing to drop. You guys walking your feet all the way forward. Feel the backs of the legs stretching. So you come to hang and ragdoll at the top of your mat. So you can bend your knees a whole lot here or a little. Depends on what kind of sensation you're looking for in the backs of the legs. So play with that. Continuing to anchor of your attention on the breath, but then noticing the sensation on the backs of your legs and playing with how much feels useful. Today. Good. As you're ready, halfway lift, drawing the heart forward, maybe bending the knees a little bit more so you get length in the spine. And then exhaling to grab the backs of the legs and forward fold, dropping your head. Shoulders plug in. Awesome. Stand all the way up. You bend your knees and then flat back up. Stand up and reach up. Look up. And then bring your hands to your heart center to reset. Awesome. Let a sigh out or whatever you need, and then just notice how your body's feeling, what places are tight. What places maybe feel soft or open already. It might just be like one tiny centimeter of your heart. That's cool. We're developing the capacity to notice. Right. Breathe in nice and big and reach the arms up. Focus up. Exhale, forward fold, flat back over, grabbing the backs of your legs. Inhale, halfway lift to lengthen. Back to forward fold. Exhale in towards yourself. Stand all the way up. Root to rise and reach. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Great, guys. Again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, all the way down. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Stand up, inhale and reach. Full breath. Exhale, hands to your heart. Again, and maybe with Ujjayi breath, you can hear it. A little constriction in the back of your throat. Breathe in to rise. Exhale, forward fold, emptying out the breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your hands, step back, high push-up. Drop your knees. Take a big breath in here. Rock forward and then lower all the way to the mat. Hug your elbows in. Hug your belly in. Good. Point your feet. Inhale and lift your heart up. Exhale, downward facing dog. One breath in. One breath out. Look forward, breathe in. Empty your lungs and then walk your feet to your hands. Keep pressing through the palms. And find halfway lift when you get there. Breathe in. And forward fold, gather back to your legs, squeeze the air out. Stand all the way up, inhale and reach. Exhale, hands to your heart. Good, again, reach up, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold, all the way down. Halfway lift. If you can, one exhale, plant your hands, step back. Maybe you drop the knees, maybe you don't, and then lower all the way to the mat. Point your feet and find cobra. Press through the feet to lift the heart. And then down dog. Push your hips up and back. Press through the palms. And focus on your breath. Feel your hands. Feel your shoulders wrapping down the back. Good. Look forward. Breathing. Exhale and bring your feet to your hands. Halfway lift. Inhale. Fold and exhale. Inhale, stand all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Good, one more like that. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, long spine, belly in. Plant your hands up back and lower to the mat. Squeezing in. Or squeezing the muscles and resisting as you lower. And trying to inhale to lift your heart. Down dog, push through the palms, lift from your belly. Just pick your right leg up behind you. Exhale, step that foot all the way forward. You can help it forward as many steps as you need. Spin the back heel flat. Let's stay here for a few breaths. Looking at that front foot, spreading the toes. Bending into the front knee. And then reaching both arms up. Finding our way to warrior one, if that works for you. If it tweaks out your knee in the back, you can always spin that back heel up and come into a crescent lunge instead. I'm just starting with some lunge. Scooping the low belly in. Shoulders down and then heart up. Breathe in. We're going to go to lightning, crescent, or warrior. It's up to you. So the arms are going to go down by your side and then reach your chest forward. Stay with me. Keep breathing and then squeeze that right hip back, the left hip forward a little bit. So you're in your warrior one or your crescent lunge leg. Yeah, and one line of energy from your back heel all the way through your heart or the crown of the head. You're reaching so much through your arms that those triceps are alive. Good. Then we're going to go to reverse warrior. So back heel spins flat or the toes open up a little bit. And then you reach your right arm all the way up towards the ceiling. Stay. And you might play with your focus. Maybe you look down towards your back foot or up towards your top hand. And then see if you can bring your mind to your front knee. Right, and you can play with feeling that inner thigh stretch by letting the knee track over the ankle, maybe out towards the pinky toe. You can play with opening your hips. Yeah, and you can't see it with your real eyes, right? Maybe your eyes are focused somewhere else, but your internal focus, you're able to shift it, or you're playing with shifting it. Good. On an exhale, you're going to windmill your hands back down, step back, high to low push up. Inhale to lift your heart. Exhale, downward dog. Good, left leg lifts high. Exhale, step all the way forward. Spin the back heel flat or not. Take a few moments. Staying low. It'll give you just an opportunity to feel into your front thigh, your leg. See your toes. And then pressing through your feet to lift your arms up, finding this crescent or warrior one. And then traveling your attention through the body, feeling your hips, your legs, your heart, your arms, your fingers. Taking a big breath in and then using an exhale to find some lightning version of this. Right, lightening it up. A little bit more, pressing through the back foot. Bringing your heart forward. Scooping the low belly in so you're not swaying in the low back. You're not overcorrecting either. You're not tucking the tailbone, just supported. Yeah, and then find reverse warrior. Send the left arm all the way up. Those back toes splay out. And then you play with the side bend. Right, and I'm working with an injury on this inner groin, so sometimes, I need to straighten the leg and then rebend into it. And being mindful to stack the knee over the ankle and then slide the right hip point back rather than try to square the hips and have that front knee cave in. So if it's useful, use your eyes and see your body making the adjustments. Right, and then set your eyes to one point and see if you can continue to track that sensation without the visual cues. Good. And taking one more inhale to peek it out wherever you are, and then exhale, plant your hands, step back, high to low push-up. You can add push-ups, you can skip this, and eventually you'll flow all the way through, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Woo! Take a big breath in. Open your mouth, sigh it out, let it go. Good, look forward, inhale. Empty your lungs and then step your feet to your hands. Halfway lift, lengthening. Exhale to fold. Stand all the way up, breathe in and reach up. Bring your hands to your heart center. Great. Awesome. Move your weight into your right foot. We're going to come into a bouncing pose. See if you can let your shoulders soften and set your eyes to one point in front of you. I'm going to bring my hands, one hand to heart, one to belly. Again, sometimes nicer to bring if we need to, right? If we're way out in the world and we need to bring ourselves back to center. A way to do that is to physically presence ourselves with some sort of touch. So maybe try that here. The left knee is up in front of you at a 90-degree angle if that works. And then one hand on your heart, one on your belly. And just practicing this balance. Right? And then keeping one hand on heart, one on belly, we're going to send that left leg back. Send it back behind you. And just bring it on a different plane, right? So the heel's pressing back, the crown of the head's rocking forward. We're pressing forward. More balancing, right? Maybe you stay here. Maybe this is enough. Maybe you want to play with balancing half moon. The hands can stay at heart, center, and belly. It's a little bit of core work, or you can bring your right hand down to a block or a water bottle if you have one nearby. And you can try to play with pressing that heel back and then feeling both sides of your ribs lengthening. Right, and can you play with that? Can't see your ribs, but you can feel from the inside out. So good, so good. We're going back to warrior two. However, you need to get there. I can't even see you. Don't worry about it. Just get there, right? Bend your front knee. Reach your arms long. Amazing. Yeah, and really lean into it this time. Maybe we've touched this shape kind of already, and now you've got a little bit more space to move into. Yeah? Let's straighten that front leg. Wing the hips back behind you, and then reach your right fingertips forward, and then find this triangle pose. Yeah. You with me? Here we are. Right? And sometimes it's like easy as that, where like sometimes we need to even say that to ourselves, like, okay, where was I? Yeah? Am I with me? Am I here now? Right? And it can be an interrupter to refocus. Yeah. And again, it's not about avoiding, it's about awareness. And then we can take time if we need to work through a problem because we can put all of our focus on it versus skirting around it. And then we can also notice when thoughts are not productive or like it's not the time to be thinking about a certain thing. And so let's redirect. Okay, so redirect to your body right now. Feel your breath. Yeah, feel this length in the spine, those both sides of the ribs long, just like in balancing half moon, if you can feel that. Then re-bending into your right leg. Yeah, use your core to stand back up and reach your right arm all the way to the ceiling. Yeah, plant your hands, step back. High push-up, hold high push-up this time. Send your left knee to the ground. You're going to sweep your left foot towards the side wall so that you can come into some version of side plank. So the right arm is going to pick up towards the ceiling. The right leg is long. And here we are, opening through the chest. Breathing. Reaching the top arm forward towards the front of your room or your mat, and then plant your hands. Step back. High to low push-up, skip it, multiple push-ups. You get to choose your own adventure. And then find your way back to downward facing dog. Woo! Big breath in, and then sigh it out. And look forward as you breathe in. Exhale and walk your feet to your hands. Halfway lift and forward fold. Stand all the way up and reach up. And then bring your hands to your heart. So good. Let's try it on the other side. So setting your eyes to that one point, something that's not moving, something that can be your anchor. Right? Letting your shoulders soften. So you've got focus, then dropping into your body, dropping into that standing leg, that left leg, the right leg lifts up. One hand on your heart, one on your belly to play with that focus or that support. Just tactile anchors. Good. Keep spreading the toes on the right foot, and then you're going to send that right heel back behind you, starting to hinge your body forward. Ooh, keep squeezing your legs and your booty. Keep breathing. Maybe you've shifted your focus. Your eyes somewhere right above the top of your mat to one point, and then either you stay here or you play with opening the right hip up. So the back toes are spinning towards the side wall, whatever is in front of you, in front of your chest. Spread your toes. Keep breathing and then feel the spine lengthen. Ooh, you might feel yourself wibble and wobble, and that's okay. See if you can use your eyes, use your breath. Good, and then step all the way back. Warrior two for you. Okay, we'll make it there. Find it and reach the arms out. That back foot is on that angle towards the side in front of your chest, side wall in front of your chest, bending into your front knee. Again, you might find a little bit more space. Notice, adjust, and breathe. And straightening that front leg, sending your hips back behind you to stretch your left fingertips forward, and then finding triangle pose on this side. Right. Always put a little bend in that front knee if you feel like you're blowing out your hamstring. And then you're working towards lengthening both sides of your ribs. So the hips are drawing back, the heart's drawing forward. And here's another cool spot if you wanted to use tactile sensation to find a focus. Maybe that top hand comes or corkscrews around your back and comes to the base of your spine. Front hand can stay on your shin, or maybe it comes to your low belly. Finding the support in the sacral area. And breathe, you're fine. You got this. Yeah. And re-bending your front knee, finding reverse warrior. The front arm reaches all the way up. Plant your hands. Step back. Pause. Send the right knee down to the ground, spinning that foot out to the side, and then open your left arm up towards the ceiling. You got it. Right. Setting your eyes or closing your eyes, and then feeling the bottom hand press down, the top arm reach up, the back foot press into the earth, the hips maybe go a little bit towards me if you're facing me, or forward. And then reach the top arm over your ear, and then plant your hands. Step back, high to low push up, or skip it, and let's all meet in child's pose. Letting a sigh out once you get there. I chose to bring my focus a little bit more inwards, meaning or bring my limbs more into center, just shifts where the focus is in the shape. Not inherently better, but just different. You could try bringing your knees to kiss. So a narrow kneed child's pose to just increase the rounding through the spine. You want to try another variation, you might bring your palms to touch and namaste behind the nape of your neck. So the elbows are tracking a little bit more towards the top of the mat. Find something that feels productive and breathe. Good, the hands release, press down, roll the spine all the way up. I'm going to swing the legs out in front of you. Right, extending the right leg straight out in front of you. Let's bring the left foot in like tree pose. Right, you might roll that ankle, point flex that foot, and then feel that heel press as you lengthen yourself forward and down. You can keep your spine long. That's just going to focus the stretch a little bit more on your hamstring. Right, try to plug both legs in to extend your heart out. And after you try that for a few breaths, it might feel yummy to round over, bringing the nose closer to your knee. And that's just going to change the sensation on the low back. Again, playing with hugging the right leg into the socket, maybe squaring the hips. And breathing. Good. Flat backing up without forcing anything. Awesome. Good. And then switch sides, extending your left foot out. The right foot comes in to meet the inner thigh. Again, you can point flex that foot if that feels like a yummy exploration. Watching that foot, admiring it, giving it your attention. And finding a nice inhale as you're lifted, and then an exhale. To maybe first, flat back, drawing the, again, leg back into the socket, the hip back into the socket. Doesn't matter how far you go, right? Particularly since you're practicing at home, nobody's watching you, okay? More about what it feels like, right? And you might notice then, like, where does my mind typically go? Or are there recurring thoughts or tapes that happen when I'm not in the shape that I think I should be in, or I'm not the same as what Danielle's shape looks like, or why can't my breath be as full? Just breathe a couple breaths here and notice. And see if you can relax your head down towards your knee, rounding through the spine. And again, not again, an invitation to relax into, sort of pushing away those thoughts, like noticing them, thanking them. Might give you some insight on, what areas to cultivate compassion, or extra irritable with yourself. Is there really something else going on that could be taken care of that would allow you to come back to a more peaceful state with yourself? Yeah, and just redirecting your focus to something you're feeling or seeing or experiencing now, instead of the commentary on the now. As you're ready, you'll flat back up. Good, good, good. Scooting your hips forward, feet planted on the ground, reaching your arms out in front of you. Just engaging a little bit with your core. You can do a little dance party, reaching one side and then the other. So you can find that stability and strength, the breath, a little bit of fire. Yeah, as you lean back, inch by inch, until you lay all the way onto the earth. Awesome. Reach your arms up and over your head. Ooh, reach your toes up. Like a big old rinse. Right. Pressing the feet onto the earth. You're going to push down to lift up. Find bridge pose. Find bridge pose just for a few breaths. Yeah, pushing down and forward, pushing up. But there's also an opening to the chest. You can hold yourself with your hamstrings more than your glutes. And just a little play with what's working and what can relax. Take a big breath in and then rolling down one vertebra. Hugging your knees and your chest. A little rock side to side. And you might play with extending the legs up or keep them in towards your chest. Just tracking that sensation, noticing what would feel yummy. Maybe even curl your nose up towards your knees and hug around your legs to breathe into your upper back. Squeezing through your core, that center point. And then laying back down with your chest. Good. Hands come underneath your sacrum in a diamond-shaped position to support your low back. The legs go up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to lower the legs. Let's go one at a time. So right leg goes down. Maybe you pick your chest up, you look at it. And then we're going to switch. The left leg goes down. Now you can either pause, bringing both legs back up, bringing both legs up, and then watching that right leg go down. Or you can simultaneously switch without that pause. Right, inhaling and then exhaling. Yeah, and legs don't have to be completely straight. They can be bent also. Try not to use momentum. Try to use strength in your core and your belly. For 3. Breathe for 2. And for 1. Hug your knees in. Oh, let your head rest. Letting both feet go wide on the ground, knees together. Maybe arms wide. Letting your chest open up. And just feeling the difference between that opening and the arms versus the hands resting somewhere on the body. Again, one not better than the other, but both are equally important to a balanced nervous system, a balanced relationships. You can soften into this shape just to see what that feels like. Keeping the arms wide if it works. The toes just walk in. The feet can come to kiss and the knees go wide. It's a different variation on the same thing. Just a butterfly. Good. Feeling good about what you can do here. That's a really good practice too. Like when you do something good, to allow yourself to focus on it. Again, we're not nursing any delusions or trying to like over grandiose, like over, you know what I mean? Emphasize one way or the other. But when we feel good about ourselves, we usually can do good. If you're ready, the knees come back in to kiss. You can either hug your knees in the chest or play with a different variation on a spinal twist as we start to wind down the class. Both feet stay on the ground, and then letting both knees fall to the left. So it's just going to change where you experience the stretch. So rather than in the low to mid back, like when the knees are in the chest, this targets the hips in a different way. And it's cool to witness in the yoga shapes the subtle changes and the variations and how they affect us differently. I imagine, each day kind of looks similar, but if we make small adjustments, it can impact how it is that we actually feel about ourselves and then that ripple effect out into our actions and overall health. So knowing we have the power to do that. Good. Walking the knees back in and then finding the stretch on the other side. Good. Bringing your mind to your breath, maybe a spot in your heart center or along your spine. Just send your breath. Just as an exercise of noticing and directing your attention. Okay, when we get near the end of class, so common, I know I felt myself do it, where my brain started to go to the next thing or move on. That happens too in silence. So just developing the capacity to notice when that's happening and bring the mind back. And as you're ready, the knees travel back to your center, the legs go out long, and finding your way into Shavasana. The arms might go down by your side, palms face up, or maybe again it feels useful to bring your hands somewhere on your body, both hands to your heart. One hand to your heart, one to your belly, both hands to your hips. You'll find a spot that feels right, even if you have to feel around a little bit to find it. And then let yourself be here and rest. Good. In your own time and in your own way, making your way up to a seat. So you might roll to one side and press up, or just use a little momentum or your core to roll up through center. Then we'll meet here, cross-legged or kneeling, bringing your hands to your heart center. Feel your palms press together and your thumbs move towards your heart center. Softening through your eyebrows and just letting yourself land here, the seat. or your sit bones, roots. Again, maybe the backs of the ears lift. And tracing an easeful breath. Just finding one. Maybe it softens your belly. And we just take a moment to acknowledge our work and for choosing to carve out this time, right? To deliberately put our mind to a point of focus, witness it shift and witness it change, and then bring it back again. Right? That way we can continually hone the lens with which we see the world and ourselves. And so the divine in me, the light in me sees and honors the light in you. And we acknowledge that with one another by saying namaste. Namaste. Great. Thank you again for taking the time to practice with me. Again, my name is Danielle Rinaldo here at Pele Yoga, and we're grateful to all the members that are continuing to practice with us in this virtual format. And if you are popping on and would like to contribute in a pay what you can format, there'll be a link either above or below this video to our donation page at PayPal, and it really supports us being able to continue to provide resources for this wellness practice. Thanks again. Namaste.